Hey everyone, today I'm going to film a makeup tutorial because the last couple of weeks I've been doing some reviews. I've been trying to get in Halloween content as well as normal makeup tutorials, and I've got a few exciting projects coming up, so I'm kind of trying to fit everything in. That'll all be being published while I'm away, so I won't have access to my computer. So to start with, I'm going to use the ELEMIS Pro-Collagen Insta-Smooth Primer. And I've not used this before, so I'm looking forward to giving it a go. All I've got on my skin at the minute is some moisturiser, so this is just going to go over the top of that. So this is a line and pore smoothing primer. Oh, it smells absolutely... Oh wow, that is incredible. It smells a little bit like the other Pro-Collagen products from ELEMIS, but it's really, really lovely. It actually reminds me of a perfume my nan used to wear years ago. That's lovely, I like that. It feels really nice on the skin. It's not a heavy primer and it's not super silicone-y at all actually, no. It just feels like a tiny bit of a film, but not those kind of silicone based films. This also has anti-aging properties to it, so we're all for that. So excuse my scruffy hair, I've just pinned it out of the way. The foundation today I'm going to use is by Zoeva. This is the Authentik Skin foundation. So this has a natural luminous finish. And the shade I have is 140N Energetic. So I'm just going to pump a small amount of that onto the back of my hand. Do a couple of pumps and see how we get on. So this foundation is infused with rosehip oil, and the idea is that it glides onto the skin. And it's a medium buildable coverage. I've not tried it yet, so this will kind of be a bit of a first impressions video. Smells like old school makeup. I really like that. If you smell it, you'll know what I mean. It's got a old school cosmetic smell, which you don't really get anymore because everything's always overly fragranced. It's quite nostalgic. I like it. So even though that's a medium coverage, it gives really good coverage, but without looking like it's sitting on the skin. So this foundation comes in 44 shades. There's so many brands now that are coming out with a massive shade range, which is just brilliant because then there's always something for everybody. So this also has 3 master undertones. So you've got neutral, cool and warm. It says it's lightweight. It's definitely lightweight. You can't feel it even sitting on the skin. And this is the foundation brush that's been designed to go with it. This is the Rose Golden brush. It's the 104 Buffer brush. And I love the colour of it, it's so beautiful. Oh, I really can't get over that smell. It's so nice. It's not like a fragrance, it's just a scent that's really reminiscent of old school makeup. I really like that. It reminds me of something specific, but I can't put my finger on it. It will come to me, but it will come to me after the video. So the 2 pumps has completely covered my entire face. And that would give me enough coverage now to be able to go out, and I would feel like I'm not wearing a lot, but at the same time I've got enough coverage that I feel comfortable. Don't forget to take that over your eyes. So I've got a little press release that comes with the foundation because this was sent to me. It's not sponsored. What I really like about all the names is that they're all positive, powerful, inspiring names. So you've got things like Fabulous, Fearless, Soulful, you've got Masterful, Magical. There's so many really nice names to these, and I'm wearing Energetic, which I quite like. Feeling energetic today. I like that. I like the name. It's really good, and they're not stupid names that you can't pronounce. I hate that when brands bring out things that you can't pronounce. You kind of get put off using them in tutorials because you think, I don't know how to say it. This is probably a foundation that I would need to use oil control with because it is slightly luminous. Within a few hours, my natural luminous oils are going to come through and make me look that little bit more shiny anyway. So anything that gives me a slightly dewy finish always needs my Murad oil control lotion underneath. Okay, so I only needed 1.5 pumps and that's done my face twice, so I think that's really good. So you get a standard 30ml in this. It is a glass bottle and that retails at £25. Not too bad, probably average now for more higher end makeup. So last week when I did the Urban Decay Stay Naked foundation review, I said I forgot to use the concealer. So today I'm going to use the concealer just so you guys can see what it's like and I can give it a go. I don't know if any of you guys have tried it yet. I haven't. This is the packaging. So it looks pretty identical, like a mini version of the foundation but in the concealer form. So I've got two shades. I've got 30 NY and then I've got 40 NY. Ideally, I always stick to neutrals, but this one is medium neutral yellow. So I am more yellow than pink. So we're going to go with the 40. I don't like going for too bright under my eyes. I sometimes just like it to match the colour that my skin is. So I'm going to blend that in with the Zoeva 142 Concealer Buffer Brush. I've probably made a bit of a schoolboy doing my base makeup first because, to be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do with my makeup. But I fancy doing something a little bit more full on, and I'm probably going to end up with it on my face. So this says it's a buildable full coverage, flexible, breathable, non-transfer real skin matte finish and does not contain animal derived ingredients or byproducts, so that's good. Technically, once it's on, it should stay in place. We shall see, because we're going to have time for it to sit while I do my eye makeup. So I'm just going to tap that in with my foundation brush. So the shade I used in the Stay Naked foundation was a shade up from this, so it does give a little bit of a lighter appearance to my skin, and this is a little bit more of a full coverage finish than the foundation that we've used. So now I feel like I can see makeup on my skin. So today I'm going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina palette. So this is the palette. As you can see, there is so many different colours. It's beautiful. But I'm actually going to use these shades here and this shade here. So the first shade I'm taking is C5, and this is a burnt sienna matte brown. My chosen brush is a flat shaded brush. The reason I like this brush is because all the bristles are tightly packed together, so you don't lose any of the pigment between the bristles. Instead, you get a really good colour payoff because all that pigment goes straight onto the skin. As you can see, I'm taking that colour all the way over the eyelid, and I'm also pulling it out in a little bit of a V shape on the outer corner because this really does suit my eye shape, and I'm also taking it slightly above the crease. To help blend that out, I'm going in with my MAC 286 Duo Fibre blending brush, and I'm working that into some of my matte Chocolate Soleil bronzer by Too Faced. And I'm buffing that over the seams of the burnt sienna eyeshadow, and as you can see, it's really helping to soften it. The bronzer's not too dissimilar to my skin tone, so it's not showing up as too much of a brown tone. However, brown would still look really great with this look. You don't have to use a bronzer to buff out your eyeshadow. You can use a eyeshadow that's more similar to your skin tone, or you can use some translucent powder. Whichever you opt for, just make sure it's also a matte finish. Going back to the palette, I'm now taking E5. This is also a matte finish eyeshadow, and this is an oxblood colour. I'm using the same brush that I used for the first eyeshadow, and I'm tracing over where I applied the very first colour. You might be wondering why I'm tracing over the colour that I've just applied, why didn't I go straight in with this shade? But this is a lot darker and it's a lot more intense. It's going to be a little bit harder to blend out, and that's why you hear the term transition shade. If you've got a colour that you've already used underneath, it helps the blending of darker shades on top. Often you won't also take that darker shade as high as the transition shade, and that's what's going to give you that beautiful gradient. Next I'm taking the shade B2, and this is a metallic rosy bronze shade, and it has a gold sparkle to it. Once again, I'm taking that same brush and I'm patting this directly onto the actual mobile lid, so that's the part of the eyelid that actually moves, and I'm using a bit of a stipple motion to apply it so we feather it into the colours that we've already got on the eyelid. Then I'm taking a small detailer brush and taking that oxblood shade and running this underneath those lower eyelashes, keeping it close to the root but smoking it downwards. Once again, I'm going back into my bronzer and I'm going to use this to blend out the seam of the eyeshadow so it doesn't look as stark where it finishes. This is also a brush by Zoeva, as is the flat shader brush. Along the waterline, I'm taking the Zoeva kohl pencil called Black to Earth, and this is from the Black Box collection. This is one of the inkiest black kohl pencils I've ever used. It's incredible. Next in the palette, I'm taking D5, and this is a matte black eyeshadow, and again I'm using that small detailer brush from Zoeva. I'm pushing that black eyeshadow along the outer third of the top eyelid, and this is just going to create a bit of a soft smoke. I've used the very tip of the brush to wing it out slightly before I go in with this matte black liquid eyeliner, also by Anastasia Beverly Hills. So this is now going super close to the root of the eyelashes all the way across the lid, but I'm also winging that out on the outer edge. It's up to you which way round you want to do it. I am going to go over the outer wing with a bit more of the black eyeshadow, just to give it a bit more of a diffused finish. My preference is to layer products because they last a lot longer. That's why I've done it as 3 different layers. I've dipped my brush into a very small amount of the oxblood colour and tapped off all the excess product. And starting at the very tip of that winged eyeliner, I'm pulling it upwards towards the socket of the eye. And this is very, very subtle. I'm not blending it out far, and the placement is only on that outer third. I'm using a very, very soft hand to blend it. The mascara I'm using this week is the NYX On The Rise Volume Lift Mascara. If you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen I posted about this the other day on my stories. It's a really good mascara. I wore it all day and it didn't move, flake or smudge. Now I'm going in with an angled liner brush by Zoeva, and I'm taking the matte black eyeshadow and I'm smoking this underneath my lower lashes so that the eyeliner comes down and fades into that oxblood shade that we've got under our lower lashes. This week I'm popping on some Ardell Falsies. These are the Faux Mink 817 eyelashes. I have so many tutorials on how to apply falsies. I also have lash hack videos which I will link up in the top corner for you now. These falsies are super soft and fluffy and you can leave them like that, but I wanted a little bit more drama to them, so I applied a coat of mascara to them. So I've done my eye makeup. I'm going to move on to skin. I'm going to use this YSL Soufflé d'Eclat translucent powder. You can see it's slightly pink hued, but it doesn't come out pink. You can see I'm starting to get a little bit shiny. It is a little bit warm in the studio today. Feels like summer's coming back now, even though we're into September. We've got a few nice days here in the UK. So I'm just going to press that through the centre of the face. And that just takes down the shine. To warm up my skin, I'm going to use the Bare Minerals Faux Tan Endless Summer Bronzer. I'm loving using this. Again, I'm still not keen on the scent of it, but I do really like the colour of it. The scent does have that kind of DHA smell, which is a bit like fake tan, and I briefly explained it before. It's got like a gradual glow complex, so I think the idea is that the more you wear it, tans your skin a little bit in those areas. As I said before, not something I've noticed, and I love wearing the Bare Minerals stuff because I know it doesn't break me out. It's all great ingredients, no nasties. I'm going to pop this onto the hollows of the cheeks. So this is a cool tone, and as you can see, it just gives you that kind of carved appearance to the hollows of your cheeks. So it's cool enough that it creates a shadow, but it's not too cool that it ends up looking ashy on the skin. It's a really nice balance. So I'm just popping a small amount of that on the sides of my nose and just over the top, just to give it a bit more warmth. Even though, again, it is a cooler tone, it's still a bronzer, so you will get a little bit of warmth with it. Don't forget to take it over your ears as well. So as you can see now, my face kind of all matches my body, and it's kind of sculpted but still has a natural finish. It's a little bit heavier because we've gone heavy with the eyes, so it's more of an evening look obviously. On the cheeks, I'm going to use another Nudies Bloom by Nude Sticks. This one is in the shade Poppy Girl. We've got this kind of deep, almost kind of maroony, purpley, browny shade on the eyes. I'm going to pop a little bit of this on. The brush I'm going to use is the Real Techniques 200 brush. So I'm just going to pop this straight on the top. As you can see, it's quite intense. And I'm going to tap that onto the apples of the cheeks and just work that in a stipple motion, pulling the colour backwards until it's lightened slightly, because we don't want it to be clown-like, and these can be quite intense, so you need a small amount. Like I said in one of my previous videos, I like to pop it on with one brush and then use a dry brush over the top just to press that into the skin, and it just helps to take off a little bit of the excess product and make it look softer. I love that these have like a slightly glowy finish and they just make your skin look really healthy. Next I'm going to take this Demi Matte liquid lipstick by Huda Beauty, and this is in the shade Feminist. And then before that dries, I'm just going to pat it off so it's more of a kind of stain. And I'm taking this Nude Sticks pencil in the shade Tay Tay over the top. I still want it to be nude. I just want a little bit more colour than my natural lips, but I don't want it to be sort of too intense. The sheen from Tay kind of reflects the lip colour, so it looks a little bit more nude, but then there's something there that looks hydrating, and then the stain underneath means it's not going to go anywhere, so I can wear it all day without the worry of it coming off. So, would you guys wear this look? It's a little bit vampy, which I quite like. It's a bit of a change. It's nice for an evening out, especially if you're wearing all black and you want a slight colour to the eye. This is also great if you've got light coloured eyes. Brown eyes kind of works with any shade, but if you've got light coloured eyes and you really want to make them pop, these tones would really make the eyes look intense. As usual, all the products will be listed and linked in the description bar. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit subscribe and the notification bell so you don't miss my uploads. If you've got any suggestions, if there's any new products that you would like me to try, provided I've got them or I've received them or I can afford them, then I will do my best to get them in and show them to you. Again, thank you for watching and I'll see you next week.